inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. You guys know I'll put a warning out there in a heartbeat, even though at the end of the day, anybody listening to this podcast knows that there are times when a mini rant can just come from out the blue. But I want to talk to you guys today about collaboration and how it can be cancerous to your business. What I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing is being in a hurry to get on anybody and everybody's platform and to start doing stuff where you are infusing your business with someone else and their business and their brand. And it needs to stop on certain levels. And here's the reason why. Because a lot of you don't realize it, but you're taking the spotlight off of yourself and you're putting it onto someone else. And women, if you don't have an established brand, if you can't clearly describe who your ideal client is, if your mission is not concise, the last thing that you should do is have some type of collaborative relationship with a bunch of other business owners. This has nothing to do with being overly competitive. It has nothing to do with expecting another woman to dim their light. It just has to do with the rules of engagement. You are establishing a business and you gotta have your shit together before you start pulling in other people. And because some of you ladies are a little bit too mushy and sensitive for me, you don't like when I say things about collaboration versus competition because you've bought into this whole thing of, oh my God, we've got to learn to stop bashing each other. We have to stop shaming each other and we have to start collaborating. So maybe if I break it down from a relationship perspective, non-professional, you will understand. If you have jealousy, insecurity, and all kind of issues inside of you, if you're unhappy with yourself as an individual, the last thing you need to do is to ruin a man's life with all of your shit. If you're going to be looking at the phone every 5 minutes when he's in the shower, wondering what he's doing when he's not around you, expecting him to do things in order to make you happy, then you need to understand that you're not ready to be in a relationship. And this is the exact same thing that occurs in business. You are all over the place. You can't even show up consistently online to promote your own business and your own brand. You shudder at the thought or the idea of speaking to someone and letting them know about your business. You have to think twice before you can stand up and shine, because you don't want to be considered to be a bitch, because you think that other woman is a bitch when she stands up and shines, because you're jealous. Or if you don't think she's a bitch, you're like, oh my God, I have insecurities. I can't show up like that because, I'm not as pretty as she is, as prepped as she is. My website isn't as good as hers is, etc., etc., etc. If you have a lot of defeating thoughts, you don't have any business collaborating with someone. If you don't know who you are, what you're doing, and what you stand for real, you don't have any business collaborating with anyone. And I'm saying this because I did literally have a conversation with someone, and I was like, every time I see you, you're doing all of these interviews, and I've looked at you and you've done like 5 or 6 interviews, and it's so funny to me how you are letting all of these women come on and they're asserting their expertise and they don't have a problem shining, but you're just kind of like, oh, bow to the queen. This person is so smart. I don't see you showing up in your authority. And then the response back was, I don't see how helping other people is a bad thing. I don't see how, what? Stop, pump the brakes is what I basically had to say to this person, because before you try to send me on a guilt trip because you're feeling guilty because you have a lack of clarity and you're not showing up in your business the way that you should, don't you try to throw the smoke and mirrors, because this is not about whether or not we can or cannot support other women in business. This is not about whether or not we can or cannot ever collaborate. I'm just saying that doing it prematurely is something that is extremely cancerous. And until you can stand up and keep your chest up with a high level of esteem, and you could be in the midst of a bunch of other people that do the same thing that you do without putting your head down, the last thing you need to do is collaborate. And I find that women struggle with this. You struggle with it more than men have a tendency to do. But if you were at a convention and it was a convention for healers, you shouldn't be saying, oh, well, let me just be quiet. Let them be the one to talk. If anything, you should be interjecting politely to complement what they're saying, to piggyback off of what they're saying, to add to what they're saying, to give it an alternative to what they're saying. The point is you should be able to readily and confidently assert your expertise. And when you cannot do that, you need to understand that it is damaging to your business. You have to be laser focused. You have to be very clear and concise about who you serve and why you serve and the value that you bring to the table, so that you can stay at the top of mind. The beautiful thing about the internet is the fact that it has given us exposure to everyone. The curse of the internet is that everyone has exposure to everyone. We all have the right to shine and to stand up in our brilliance without feeling like that means that we're putting someone else down, and you are required to do so if you want to make those intimate connections with the people that are following you on social media. If you can't stand on your own, then you should look to get into a position to become more visible, to be on podcasts, to do more live videos, to challenge yourself to get out there and make actual physical connections, so that you can work through the insecurities, the fears, the doubts that you have in your own mind. You got to step up your mental and your spiritual game so that you can then bring something to the table. Because see, what a lot of you don't realize is that when you collaborate prematurely, for instance, real talk, someone like me, I end up turning my nose up at some people, because I know that when you collaborate with me, I'm going to stand up in my authority 1000%. And because I believe in you, I'm going to promote you without hesitation. And when I don't see that same level of boss mentality coming to you, you're not adding to the synergy. You're not going to make me feel good just because you're only promoting me. I need somebody who's going to be able to show up and shine as an authority and a boss right along with me. And if you don't, that's a turnoff. powerful women are actually attracted to other powerful women. And for those of you that have been following me long enough, you have seen how I celebrate these strong women who have been on this podcast. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. You keep it, you take it, because this is your spot. This is your expertise. So don't ever get it twisted. I am not anti-collaboration. I'm anti-premature collaboration. And that's it. What are you doing? Are you getting out there and trying to mesh your brand with somebody else's brand before you even have a true, clear understanding of who you are and what you're doing? Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch, we get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.